Alright, guys, it's time to talk about what was real and what was fake in Smile 2. Smile 2 is a horror movie, it's a psychological horror movie at best. So, this movie is a complete mind bender, and you never know what is real and what is fake. The Smile entity eventually latches onto a pop sensation, Sky Riley. And the demon loves to feed off trauma, and she has it all. She is the perfect host for the Smile entity. She is very unstable and she used to have a history of using. While the entity feeds off trauma, I do believe it feeds off karma as well. Because we see Sky Riley and this guy driving home from a party. It's a huge plot point in the movie. But when they are driving, they get into a crash. Eventually realizing that the crash was caused by Sky Riley herself. She basically goes complete cycle in the car. The way that the entity gets a new host is having someone witness an unaliving. Which in this case, Lewis got unalived and Sky Riley saw it. The demon takes about a week to fully eat you alive. In this image right here, it was around 3 days that Sky Riley was the new host. She is now seeing things, she's now seeing smile figures, and she's going completely insane. So she calls up her best friend, which she hasn't talked to in forever. And she comes over and stays the night. But we later find out that this is all fake. We found out that Gemma was never here in the first place. And the only history that she had talking with Sky after the argument was a voicemail. But it's very weird because there was messages on the phone saying that Gemma was coming over. The entity eats you alive physically and mentally, and can impersonate anyone around you, either through a physical appearance or a digital appearance. And as we see in this movie, a lot of it has to do with the digital appearance. Because in so many moments in this movie, there was a lot to do with phones. But this demon basically gives you a false reality. A reality that no one else can see. So when you become the new host, you perceive reality differently, causing you to hallucinate. So we know that this Gemma situation was all fake, so what else is fake and what's real? Now I do believe Morris is real, let me break it down. In this movie, Morris is kind of like a tool to stop this entity. He has a way to stop the entity, so he meets up with Sky to tell her about it. Basically telling her that she has to unalive herself and then come back to life. But the question here is, did Sky actually meet up with Morris? Or is Morris just another fake reality? I do believe that bar scene is real. I do believe they met up and had the conversation on how to survive. But later on we see Sky in a hospital, with their mother just sitting in a chair on the side. And the mother says something along the lines of, you have to get ready for your performance tomorrow, so you have to rest. Then a couple minutes later, she sees her mother just gash her eye out. Later being perceived that she actually did it. She's the one that unalived her mother. She escapes the hospital with a ton of blood on her and leaves in a car. That car in which Gemma was the driver. Sky eventually awakes from the hallucination and is in the driver's seat, messaging Morris on where to go to take out this entity. And she meets Morris at this pizza place where he sent her to. Now something's really fishy though, because once they set up everything, Morris left, just leaving Sky in this freezer alone. After he leaves, she sees a demon just hanging on the ceiling, causing her to get into an absolute battle with the entity. When she finally believes that she's in control, she uses an adrenaline shot, which from Moore's explanation is how that you get rid of this thing. But she's soon to realize that that demon is still in control. Then we see the scene get cut to her on stage. So now we as the viewers are kind of thinking what is reality and what is fake. Because on stage, this is real life. This is no hallucination. So how does she get to the stage from the freezer? When they do a quick glance into the stands, we find out that her mother's actually alive. So everything from the point of the hospital to this was all fake. So she never got in the car, she never drove to the abandoned place to meet Morris. Early on in the video, I said that the entity can impersonate people digitally. So that's exactly what the demon did, was impersonate Morris through the phone. So I have two theories where things started to become fake. Now the first one was that she was still in bed in the hospital. She never left this point in time. She rested the whole day and then got on stage the next. Which is the most obvious one, I think. I think that's kind of what the route they were taking. But I have another one where she's in this attire and in this scene. She said that she doesn't want to wear this attire because it shows her scars. But at the end of the movie, she's still in this attire on stage. And the demon impersonates her, so it's like a twin. Then we see the demon just come out of her scars. But you would think, with a pop sensation like this, a pop star like this, wouldn't they change the attire for her needs? So here's my next theory. We know that the entity loved this because of the scars. So what if, after the demon made her smile, this is where everything went fake? What if after this point, there was nothing but the fake reality? I really like this because of the final scene alone. Those scars make this so believable. Because that's exactly what the demon was latching onto, that karma, because those scars came from the car accident. There's no definitive answer of what's real and fake in this movie, but we can kind of assume where shit goes left. I like to look at it like this. We as the viewers are also becoming a host for the entity. So that makes us perceive things differently. Perceiving our minds to the point that we don't know what's fake and what's real in the movie. Which is just a very cool psychological twist. Let me know what you guys thought about Smile 2 and what scenes you thought were fake and what scenes you thought were real.